accolades for doing absolutely nothing. I feel like AOC.
Feel like AOC.
Yeah, it's from the Democratic corner over there.
And we're live.
Live Democrats?
Yep, live Democrats.
They're having rough times these days. All them Texas Democrats having to live in Chicago, pay those prices, they're going nuts. And they're looking around going, who are these colored people? What do you expect? They come from Texas. They think they're all liberal and everything because they stormed out of the Texas legislature. And then they bus them to Chicago. They feel like a bunch of black kids in the 60s being bucks to the ghetto. Come on, give me a break. Idiots. Anyhow, the whole country's gone mad. I love every minute of it. It's absolutely. But what's fascinating is that comics are afraid to tell political humor. All you guys ever talk about are your erections or some girls. I mean, really, we got the guys that get up here and talk about, the P word. I mean, there's a 14-year-old kid in the audience, and this guy's talking about eating pussy. It's kind of disgusting, by the way. First of all, I'm not interested in your love life. Second of all, I'm sure it's still all over that beard that you don't wash. I mean, they used to call it a soup catcher with guys like that, and he's on the down low. Has to be. All right. Now you don't even know who I'm talking about. Anyhow, I'm Mark Safran. I'm here because my wife is playing hooky in New York getting our apartment fixed because I can't deal with contractors. Actually, she went there for God knows what and is there for God knows how long. So I'm up here, making believe I actually know what I'm doing, which is a stretch, by the way. I'm a lawyer. I shouldn't be up here telling stupid anecdotes about the world, though today was some good ones. Anybody remember John Bolton? There's something about the tall, white-haired dude with the mustache that just screams white supremacist. If you see, they call people that for all kinds of reasons in America, but John Bolton, when I looked at him, it always said to me, that man is a white supremacist. He don't like anybody who isn't Anglo-Saxon. He just wants to bomb him out of existence. So they had him on TV today, and he said, no, Trump really didn't make peace in what do you call it, Angola, wherever. He just made peace, Armenia. Well, they stopped shooting each other. He didn't really make peace in Somalia. Well, they stopped shooting each other there. And he had nothing to do with the fighting between Cambodia and Malaysia or whomever's fighting in that area. And, they stopped killing each other either. And one of the presidents nominated for what is it about acknowledging the fact that you may disagree with somebody, but he still accomplished something? Give him have a little graciousness. There's no graciousness in America anymore. How can you have graciousness when Sonny Hostin is still on The View? And every time they catch her saying something completely outrageous, Whoopi will join in with something even stupider. Now, Whoopi's a stone-cold racist, anti-Semite. How do you know Whoopi's an anti-Semite? Where else do you take a name like Goldberg thinking being a Jew is going to get you ahead? The whole concept of, if I change my name to Goldberg, all these Jews in Hollywood will let me get ahead. No, they used you. You blew it. Anyhow, on that note, keep chortling. Let me tell you something. The View is a danger in American society. It is. It was better when somebody was on there, like the original. I keep forgetting names. This is the problem with age. You keep forgetting names. And then I was watching Sarah Silverman's podcast and thinking to myself, she got old too. So when Barbara Walters was running The View, at least she knew how the world went. Her father was a major gangster. You all didn't know that. Barbara Walters grew up in the American nightclub world because her father owned whatever it was called, the Zebra Club or something like that. Really, big-time gangsters. Anyhow, we're going to bring up a very small-time gangster who's going to regale us with his stories about his love life and tales of abuse. In fact, we're going to name his show Tales of Abuse by Lee Shorts.
Yeah, that's why I come here for abuse. Yeah, I go from abuse from my girlfriend to here. It's a nice continuum, actually. Works very well. No transition. I go right into it. But lately, she's been pretty unusually cruel and condescending, actually. But a lot of times she says things in anger, really, and she means every single one of them. Yeah, she does. But, I try to tell her, lighten up a little bit. But I realize she can't do that. She just can't do it. It's not in her. That's okay. And I tell her sometimes, I had a rough childhood. Give me a break, okay? And my mom used to lock me in a closet. Sometimes she locked me in the basement, too. And I said to my mom, why'd you lock me in the basement? And she said, well, closet was full. Your brother was in there. And I said, okay, that makes sense. I understood that. And then she says, my girlfriend says, lately I smell a lot like Doritos. And I said, I don't eat Doritos. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I meant Fritos. Fritos. You smell like Fritos a lot. And I said, I do my best, And, if I smell, I smell, Then she said also, right, she said, I was a lot happier when I wasn't with you, by myself. And I said, okay, that hurts. And I said, what was the real difference? And she's like, you weren't there. That's the difference. Yeah. But we both have honestly caring and loving relationships, just not with each other. Every day, it doesn't let up, and just be happy you're not me, and think about happier things than what I talk about with my girlfriend. But she says, that's one thing. She says, I was asking why don't I get sex much these days, and she said, well, if you get it every day, it won't mean anything. Like Christmas. You get Christmas every day. Doesn't mean anything. And I said, well, that reasoning, that explains why it only feels like only once a year. And sex, you burn about 500,000 calories. That's what they say. And I realized I don't come anywhere near that. It's the attempt is like 20 calories. Then like trying to validate or qualify whether she really does have a headache, that's about 30. Then not respecting her feelings and being kicked and walking to the couch, that's about 80 calories. And I'm not going to get anywhere near the 500 ever. And okay. All right. Wow. Damn, that comes fast. Shit. Wow. It's good to know. Note that. Mental note. But I have bad handwriting, so when I view my mental notes, I can't read them. It's awful, actually. So, but what can you do? She says the same thing. She says, you're dumb smart. And I say, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. And she's like, exactly. And then I asked her, elaborate. Please elaborate. What? And she says, well, it's kind of you come up with a really good word, but you don't pronounce it quite right or use it grammatically correct. And I say, oh, okay. And she says, you almost come up with good ideas. You're that close. And I said, okay. And I disagree with her. I come up with some great ideas. I really do. And back in Boston, I came with a great idea, and I know it. And my car had electrical problems, and the high beams wouldn't go off. So at night, it's just high beams, which people want to kill me, of course, for that. And so I took duct tape and put them like halfway up so it wouldn't go in people's eyes. That's a damn good idea. Till that cop pulled me over, and he didn't think that was a good idea. He thought that was the dumbest idea he's ever seen in his life. And he said, he was so mad at me that I've never heard a cop so mad. He said, I never want to see you again, ever on this road. I want to just, he said, impound your car. I want to impound your car and leave you by the side of the road. And you could have your girlfriend come up and you could tell her how really dumb you are, because you are dumb. It figures, Figure he wouldn't be on my side. Why would he be on my side? Probably hangs out with my girlfriend, Talk about what an idiot I am most of the time. Which they probably have something in common then, thinking I'm an idiot. It's something. But my parents would move around a lot, but I'd find them when I was a kid. They couldn't shake me. I'd find them. But one time though, my dad said, "I make fun of you too much," and I said, "Yeah, you do actually." He's like, "I need to make fun of not just you but your brother too." I said, "Okay, that feels a little. All right, that makes sense. Okay." But I go on. Just be happy or not me. You just think of just a night at my house. This is a night at my house. I try to get just a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with my girlfriend, and it becomes this multi-step production, and it's just a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. All I want to do is take off, go to the kitchen, and do peanut butter, jelly. But she's like a thin veneer of peanut butter, proportionate to the jelly, and then lightly toasted. Cut the corners, cut it in half, and a little bit of soy milk, quarter cup. Then use the small cups, and then use not the big plates, the small plates. And I get into the kitchen, and I'm just blank. I remember something about peanut butter and jelly on a sandwich, and that's all I got. But that's all for tonight. Thank you all for listening.
Yeah. Yeah, Lee Shorts. As he leaves us with pure knowledge of Jewish family annoyances, right? Anyhow, he does remind me of some people. So here I am, I walk into a lease negotiation with the landlords. Pay attention, Lee, it's about you. Anyhow, I walk into this lease negotiation, and in walks the two landlords, twin brothers, shorter than Lee. I mean, these guys were about yay high, but here was the problem. They were, wealthy guys, inherited this money from their father, never made a penny on their own. Anyhow, and when they did, they fucked it up. I'm thinking to myself, these are identical twins. All right? Except one was 6 inches shorter than the other. And I'm thinking to myself, did one of them get all the brains and the other one got all the height? And he didn't get very much of it either. How you grow 6 inches shorter? You would have been the 6 inch shorter brother. Is your brother your twin?
No.
How do you have to hesitate on whether your brother's a twin?
I'm the oldest but the shortest.
You're the oldest but the shortest. His 6'4" brother. That's why they had to shove him in the closet and Lee in the basement. Whatever it is. Okay. All right. The problem is Filipino women are mean. If you go on the internet and you Google who are the meanest women in the world, it comes up Filipinas. We did that. Oh. Now we're delving into it. And what is she? Samoan? Oh, my God.
No, she's from Nicaragua.
Oh, I'm shocked. All right. Is she a silent killer?
I worked for the CIA for a short.
Well, of course you work for the CIA. How else would she find Lee? So he has a 70-year-old girlfriend, because that's what everybody involved in Iran-Contra is aged, Lee. Let's find some other things from history to come up with a new backstory for your now Polynesian spy girlfriend. So she's morphed from this just evil Filipina to a Polynesian spy that's half Russian. They call them Bukharans. She's one of those, half Mongolian, half Jewish. Well, Mongolian Jewish people. That's what Bukharans are. That explains what? The bow and arrow and the camel out back? Or the fact that you live in a yurt? Sorry, I'm doing crowd work. I just couldn't avoid it today. It's like, oh my God. Oh, the girlfriend again. All right, I'm sorry. This is supposed to be a safe place. Well, you do.
That's right.
Anyhow, and speaking of other people that talk about other things, now we'll hear that a girlfriend was with him, when he was traveling. Colin Astley.
All right. So my girlfriend's a bitch. I love how you come here and then you're just getting bullied by Mark too at the same time. Mark's like, I can add on to this. I was talking to my grandmother the other day on the phone. We're Irish Catholic, and I was referencing a story from the Bible, the prodigal son. I was mentioning it. I'm not that religious, but like I referenced it, and she's like, "What story?" I'm like, the prodigal son. It's like one of the biggest Bible stories. She's like, "Oh, honey, we're Catholic. We don't read the Bible." And I didn't realize that because I wasn't really raised Catholic. Like I did a little bit of communion, a little bit of this, that. I got baptized at like 13, and I've read the Bible just like personally because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. Turns out I did extra homework. I was like, fuck. I could have gotten away with that. It was crazy. I brought up Cain and Abel, too. I was like just throwing out some stories. She's like, huh? I'm like, you're 90 now. None of this stuck. And she's like, well, the priest is cute. I'm like, why were you going so often? You're such a devout Catholic. I don't know. I just, you never meet your heroes. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, how come whenever I meet a guy who says he's an open book, you ever meet these guys like, oh, I'm an open book, right? Tell me how big your dick is. Tell me. You won't tell me, Mr. Fucking Open Book? What's your social security number? No? Mr. Open Book? What else did I write? This is all terrible. What's the biggest shit you've ever taken, Mr. Open Book? Huh? Huh? You said you're an open book? You don't keep track of that? I'm sorry, you're going to have to suffer through this. I wrote it and I got to at least practice. Oh. You said you're an open book? What's your FICO credit score? Huh? Why'd it go down 27 points? Huh? Did you open up a new Wells Fargo 0% APR credit card? Is that why? Tell me, Mr. Open Book. All right, this gets worse. Oh, you won't. Nope, that's terrible. Okay. Okay, you're such an open book. Why can't I have your ex-girlfriend's phone number? Your open book. It's starting to sound like a closed book to me. Doesn't even really sound like a book. Sounds more like a novella. Maybe even a short story. You sound like a closed short story. No? All right. We tried it. So as some of you know, I went and did a trip to Peru and Colombia. I just got back a week ago. And I went to Peru. And we went to this place called Rainbow Mountain, which is 17,000 feet elevation. I was getting terrible elevation sickness. It was intense. And to get up to Rainbow Mountain, we had to take a bus, an ATV ride, and at the very end, you could take a 5-minute motorcycle ride to the very top. So I jump on the back of the motorcycle with this guy. I give him like $5, and I'm riding, and I have a beanie on. Super cold out. I have a beanie on, and I put a motorcycle helmet on. And as we're riding, and it's windy, it's super windy. We're going up, and as we're going, my beanie starts like slowly falling down, and I can't bring it back up because I have to hold on to him. Right? So now I'm blind going up windy hills in Peru at 17,000 feet. And it's the most trust I've ever put in another man. Like, I'm giving him my full trust, right? I'm completely blind. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't even know where we're going. It's like I'm just hoping we're going in the right direction. And I felt pretty safe. He made me feel real safe. But I didn't know how to communicate it because my Spanish sucks. So I just held tighter. I just held real tight. I'm sure I whispered I love you, but he didn't. I think he knew. The way he helped me off the motorcycle. And all right, never mind. All right. Also dumb. I want to do more role playing. I like doing role plays in the bedroom. I love the classic role play. You know, like teacher, student. You know, I like being like a professor. I love being the professor and like the school, you know, like the schoolgirl. Except I want to do a role play where like I'm upset that she's a student and she hasn't gotten her dissertation done. You know, I'm like, it's due in 3 weeks. Well, I guess I'm in trouble. Yes, you are. It's a dissertation. It's okay. All right. It's dumb. That's dumb. Well, that's because I produced it. What is this? Oh, so we all saw the Coldplay concert, couple, blah, blah, blah. I like those. Oh, wait, no. It's just like those. I wanted to talk about the look-alike cams. You know, you see those too at sporting events where it's like they'll show a person and then like who they look like. But they're always like just sitting there like doing, you know, they're just watching the game. Like, I wish they'd catch people in the middle of some embarrassing shit while they're showing who they look like. Actually, I think it would just be funny if it was like they only picked the ugliest famous people to say who people looked like. You know? It's like just constantly calling out people who look like Gary Busey just to ruin their day. I think that'd be pretty funny. Because, like, usually they're like Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie. I want fucking, I don't know, who's another ugly? I want Steve Buscemi. And then it's actually Steve Buscemi. All right. I like that we're both wearing corduroy. I think that's corduroy. Is that corduroy? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Fashion icons. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Fucking, where'd I get this? H&M, baby. Oh, yeah, my doctor says I have too many macroplastics. Yeah. I eat whole-ass water bottles. He says I've got... My parents are all worried about microplastics now because they see it on the news. I'm like, you grew up with lead poisoning, basically. You drink straight from the hose. You drink straight from the hose, and now you're worried about this. And then they're like, you know, and I'm like, you didn't care about this shit when I was growing up. You gave me, you didn't worry about that. I'm like, they're like, you turned out fine. I'm like, fuck you. I hate that phrase, turned out fine. Fine is the word that I hear from all my ex-girlfriends when they're actually secretly mad at me. That's not a word that's ever meant what it's supposed to mean. Ask Lee's girlfriend. I'm sure he's heard her say she's fine. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's another one I love to hear is like, it's another word or like phrase I hear that people say it, but they don't really mean it. I can't complain. Yes, you fucking can. Go for it. I'm not going to stop you. Can't complain. Can't complain. I'm like, no one's holding a gun to your head. Go fucking complain. Don't worry about it. Now I have to complain about you. Can't tell me what you have to complain about. That was more of a thinker. Okay. I watched this show. It was like a space show. Talking about like the creation of the universe. It was like 45 minutes long. It was super interesting. And then I was like, I recognize that narrator. And it turned out it was Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs. And that was kind of a funny contrast. Like the guy that, you know, shovels horse shit on TV is like, and here's how the universe works. Like, you know what I mean? Like it makes sense when it's like I don't know, Bill Nye the Science Guy, or shoot, who's the other one? Tyson. You guys know Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? It's like that makes sense. But Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs explaining quantum entanglement. This guy's got 42, associates in different, he's got 42 different trade jobs he's learned. I don't think he took one physics class. All right, we tried it. That's dumb. That's dumb. Oh, this is just a concept I'm thinking about. We always talk about, like, people say they hate when politicians send young men to war It's like, oh, you're just old politicians. You're just sending a bunch of young 18-year-olds to war. But I don't know. I've been doing a lot of traveling. You know what happens when there's no politicians and there's no police? Young men start killing each other. They just create gangs naturally, and they all start killing each other. That's just my observation. All right, guys, that's my time. Thank you so much. Let's bring up your fantastic host. Take your time. Take your time.
Oh, please. Wish I could. Listen, there's all men here tonight, right? So, how many of you get tired of hearing the P word? Not the word you think I'm going to say. It's every time you get on the phone with somebody's Gen Z and they go, perfect. You don't hear that? No, it's not perfect. All right, all I did is give you the information you requested. Or when they go, period. What does period mean? Oh, it means I don't want to listen anymore. Now, think about the world and how it moves and things change. How long is your cycle in life? Where is Ibrahim X. Kendi today? Anybody know? You don't know who Ibrahim X. Kendi is? See that? He wrote a book about how we're all racists. Yeah, he went from Chicago where he stole 55 mil. He's down at Howard University investigating the African diaspora. No, what is the African diaspora? That's just another code word for slavery. So that short little middle passage, that's what he's going to investigate. I thought that's been investigated to death. No, but he needs something to talk about because he had nothing to talk about before. Like, where's the 1619 Project girls today? Where are they? Nobody knows. They're all gone. Walked away with their money. Made us miserable for years. The P word, 1619, Ibrahim Kendi, what, Elizabeth Warren. Well, I saw I have to have one Mamdani joke. First of all, he doesn't like the way the president's been pronouncing his name. I don't know. I haven't heard him say his name. I'm sure he said something much viler than Mamdani. And here he is, Mamdani, sitting on a green park bench wearing a green suit. Who wears green suits? I mean, come on. What are you going to do? Sit down on the grass, make sure it doesn't get stains? With Elizabeth Warren, and she's wearing blue. Where were her feathers? I mean, I thought she was. Here's a woman who managed to get through academia, claiming to be an Indian. She should be prosecuted with Adam Schiff for mortgage fraud. That was ethnic fraud. She got a professorship at Harvard claiming to be American Indian. You're no American Indian. You're hardly an American. Where is she from? Anyhow, guys talking about the Irish, right? Do you realize who the migrants are today? They're the Irish of 2025. Think about it. Think hard. Anyhow, and on that note, even though he's not Irish, Patty! No, here he comes, Billy Ramirez! Woo!
We're still going to do an intervention for you, Lee, at some point. What you were watching Wham music videos? What was going on?
I think it was an Instagram clip. It was just.
It was very sexy.
Yeah, it's quality.
Anyways, thank you very much. My name is Billy. Yeah, you know who I am. What do I want to work on? Various loose thoughts and early ideas, which is going to be the title of my first stand-up special. All right. So is anyone here getting older? Is it just me? I'm getting older, but I sometimes can't really tell I'm getting older. I don't have kids. I'm not married, so I don't have the usual milestones to keep track of, like new grades, new schools, anniversaries, but I keep track of aging through Final Destination movies. There's a sixth one, and GTA video games, but those are few and far between. It's kind of a scary thought to know that at the rate they're coming out, I only have about 2 or 3 GTAs left. Yeah, they come out like once every 12 years, but I am getting older, and there's signs. Like, for example, I'm getting white hairs everywhere. As far as I can tell, there is no product called Just for Pubes, so I guess I got to use the regular stuff. But there's other ways I'm realizing I'm getting older. Like, for example, I'm not as airtight as I used to be. The oldest one here knows. Like, for example, if anyone after the show might want to offer me, like a hit of a joint, I'm going to have to pass. Not because it has to do with you or the joint. It's just because now when I cough, sometimes I toot. Sometimes I get the toke toots every now and then also worse than that. Sometimes I also fart when I sneeze, and that's a fun surprise. It always feels like a rubber band shot right at my asshole, or like it took a high-speed shot or something. Anyways, but losing that much air from both ends feels like I'm about to implode, like that Ocean Gate submarine that imploded. But anyways, let's see. There's also other ways I'm realizing that I'm getting older. Like, for example, I'm getting comfortable with my hypocrisies. Like, yeah, I don't care. Like, for example, I am anti-war, but pro-CTE. Actually, no. I'm not entirely anti-war. Like, I'd be pro-war if the rich went. If the rich went to war, I would have season tickets to war. I would have the all-war TV package, and I would stay up late watching war highlights on War Center. It's like, oh my God, is that guy going to use a homemade carbon fiber tank? Like, this is not going to work out real well. Yes, I did just watch the Ocean Gate documentary on Netflix. I love the ending. Let's see, but for example, like it's CT. Like I don't want people to get hurt unless they sign up to do it willingly. Like for example, I am not ashamed to admit that this past couple of weeks I've been watching a lot of highlights from Power Slap. I cannot get enough Power Slap highlights because I just can't get enough of watching two willing combatants just slap each other right in the face. And depends on fiber. Okay, yeah. So, I don't know if you ever watch Power Slap, but there's two key things about Power Slap. Number one, you can't flinch. Number two, you can't defend yourself. So you just have to stand there and just get smacked upside the face as hard as someone can. And there's a couple other things that crack me up about Power Slap. Like for example, there are referees in Power Slap. So if someone gets the soul slapped out of them and they drop, the ref will count. It's like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Look, man, if you don't stop convulsing and get up, I'm going to have to stop this thing. All right. And then every now and then they miraculously rise up and start stumbling around like they just took advantage of bottomless mimosas at brunch. And then they do this thing. Like, I don't know if you ever heard of Ric Flair, the wrestler. Well, sometimes he gets smacked and takes 3 steps and tumbles over. And then that's when they call the match. That always cracks me up. But I figure, like I said, if you willingly signed up to be in Power Slap, more power to you. And some people say that Power Slap signals the collapse of society. I don't think it does. I think it signals the progression of society. Because if we're comfortable with Power Slap now, I mean, maybe later on we might be comfortable with something like power shovel to the back of the head, like power kick you down the stairs. Or what I'm looking forward to the most is Power Piñata. Because I figure if people already signed up to do something so stupid, they're not going to mind having their old prison wallet stuffed full of candy. So we'll see how that goes. What do I want to do? Okay. So, Leah, I know everyone's giving you grief about your girlfriend, but at least you have a significant other. Like, I don't. I'm pathetically single. And there's reasons for that. Like I recently stopped dating this woman because of who her favorite Ninja Turtle is. I love the Ninja Turtles as an 80s and 90s kid. They taught me everything I need to know about life. That pizza solves everything, violence is acceptable as long as you're wearing a headband, and a giant rat makes a pretty good parental figure. But I didn't know that I could be repulsed by a woman who not only knows the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but also appreciates them, until she told me that her favorite Ninja Turtle is Donatello. If you're not familiar with the Ninja Turtles, there's Leonardo, who's got these 2 big giant swords, and then there's Raphael, who's got these like double stabby fork things, and Michelangelo's got the old classic nunchucks. That's great. But Donatello's got a stick. A broken mop, something that you use to just shoo raccoons out of the garbage. And when the Ninja Turtles are just busy kicking ass and taking names, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Raphael, they're doing their business. Like Donatello's back in the corner, like just waving his baton, like he's trying out for JV color guard. It's like combative baton twirling Donatello. Oh, that'll really show him. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too picky. It's kind of, yeah, now that I say it out loud, it's kind of a dumb reason not to date a woman. But in any case, if she was, maybe she was just trying to tell me that she just likes guys with a big old rod. And in any case, it wasn't going to work out anyway, so it doesn't matter. Let's see. Oh, another reason I'm pathetically single is because I am ticklish. And I'm not afraid to tell people here on live television with a microphone that I'm ticklish, because I am violently ticklish. I know when, someone who's ticklish, you tell someone that, they get the urge to try to tickle you. Like, I wouldn't try tickling me. Not even tickle at your own peril. Like, not even a test tickle. No test tickles for you. I was on a date a while ago and took her back to my place, and we sat down, had, poured some wine, sat down on the couch, and then she accidentally brushed her elbow on my side, and I yelped like a goat. It's like, I'm sorry. If I get a little tickled, I react like I'm being electrocuted by a ghost, but once she found out that I was tickled, she did it again on purpose, and this time I accidentally ended up swiping my wine glass, across the living room, and like, there goes the wine glass flying along with my chances with her, and that was the end of that. Let's see. Yeah, it was like when you're 8 years old, being ticklish is cute. Like, in my age, it's a liability. When I get tickled, I flop like a soccer player who just got. You're welcome. Just flopped, and yeah, you're not. There you go. You're not as airtight. God damn, I forgot to write the ending to this joke. Fuck it. I'll skip it. Whatever. All right, just pretend that's the end. This is one of those jokes I used to do a while ago, and I completely forgot it because I was busy. It's like once you get a show, and you start, you get to work on your set, and I just worked on a set for like 3 weeks, and now I don't have a show, so I don't know what to do. I feel lost without a show, so book me at BillyRamirez.com and Middle Aged Muchacho. Anyways, all right, here's a dumb one. Does anyone here play those Mario games, Super Mario games? Like, when you stomp on a Koopa Troopa and it becomes a shell, and then you tap the shell and it goes shooting across the floor? You know why that is? Turtle wax. That was dumb. That's stupid. Let's see. No kids. In 2 minutes. All right, I'll do a classic, at least to me. I was chatting with my brother over the weekend, and we were reminiscing about growing up and all that. And this conversation with my brother reminded me of this incident we had with Grocery Outlet back in the day. Back in like 1991 or so, my entire family, we got violently sick off of Neapolitan ice cream from Grocery Outlet. I know this is going to sound like an anti-Grocery Outlet joke, but it's a pro-Grocery Outlet joke, right? So when my dad and I finally felt well enough, we went back to Grocery Outlet to return the remaining evidence, I guess. And my dad spoke to the manager. I don't remember the exact words that he and the manager exchanged, but I do vividly remember the manager holding his hand out, taking the rest of the ice cream from my dad's hand, looking him right in the face and saying, "I'm going to send this back to the lab." And his recent conversation with my brother reminded us that it's been over 30 years and we haven't heard back from Grocery Outlet. And also, I'm pretty sure that Grocery Outlet, the bargain discount grocery store, doesn't have a goddamn lab. Like, why he had to make up a lie to save on 49 cents worth of ice cream. It's Grocery Outlet. They have room to be a little shady, They could work it into their advertisement. Like, oh, you crapped yourself? It happens. Grocery Outlet, Like, oh, you got sick off of one of our products? Yeah. And, Grocery Outlet, they could even just be completely honest. Like, oh, but did you die? Grocery Outlet. Anyways, that's all I have planned for now. Please welcome back to the stage America's sweetheart and the host with the most, Mark Zafrin.
Yeah, it's here for me.
And let's give it up for Lee. He needs all the support.
Don't make me sing. What's the biggest scam in Los Angeles? None of you know this, Because I was just thinking of something in Billy's set was making me think about this. We got sued here at the LA School of Comedy. Oh, yes, we did. We got sued here because one of the beautiful YouTube videos we posted didn't have adequate closed captioning. So we were sued by a group of criminal lawyers, and I only say that because that's what the DA said about them. And I won't mention their names because they'll sue, all right? They sued us, and they claimed that we were inhibiting their deaf client from enjoying our videos. So all right, I'm telling you this right now. That year, it was COVID, so they couldn't do their usual shtick of driving around and measuring the tables outside to make sure that they were the right height for people in wheelchairs and making sure that the handicap spaces, of which there were entirely too many in Los Angeles, were useful for these people in their vans. So this guy used to drive around. This was his lifestyle. He'd drive around in his van, claiming that he was denied access, and he was their favorite, complainant. So when I'm handling the lawsuit, I find out he's brought, 15,000 lawsuits. So they have a stable of these disabled people. So let's talk about Food Outlet and their testing, because that's what turned me on to it. So here I am, and they say settle. The Laugh Factory settled, God knows for how much. The Improv settled. I'm not settling. I get ready to go to trial. I make a motion for summary judgment. You know what that is when you say there's no reason for a trial because they have nothing to say. Because what did these people put in as evidence that this person had a hearing loss, that he couldn't enjoy the videos without closed captioning? They put in his hearing test from Costco. Talking about places where you can buy anything. You used to be able to walk into Costco getting hearing tests from somebody who probably is one of Lee's students, and you were working part-time, and they would tell you that you need a hearing aid. Of course you need a hearing aid. They're selling hearing aids, for God's sakes. So this is evidence that they're trying to bring into court. I always say that because they used to say New York was bad. Los Angeles is the king of shitty lawyers. They will sue you at the drop of a hat. Do not fart in public. You will get sued by some Karen. Oh, my God, what'd that smell like? My beans that I just ate. You can't keep feeding everybody Mexican food and expect the town not to smell like farts. Anyhow, on that note, since I've been totally disgusting, we're going to bring up the head of the drama wing of the LA School of Comedy. That great teacher, that sage of the what did they used to call them? No, I know you're a thespian. What was it? Smell of the grease paint, the roar of the proud, Aaron McIntyre. Trod the boards. It was trod the boards.
Thank you.
Trod the boards.
Thank you. I shall trod the boards. Hey, everybody. How's it going? I am a mess. I'm a fucking mess. First of all, I want to say it's Mondavi. You have to put the V in there. Mondavi. I don't know. I was just making it up. Because Kamala. Oh, Kamala. Doot, Kamala. I know it sounds a bit bizarre. Yeah, I'm a mess. I haven't had sex in like 14 years. Those are dog years. So I just use the 14 years because sometimes I'll get a pity fuck. And I'd much rather have that than a relationship, if you know what I mean. Right, Lee? Thank you, Hunter. Yes, a newly single man. Oh, and by the way, Billy, just wait until the farts come every time you take a step. That's when it's in you. As you're walking down the street, it's really bad. My problem is that I'm way too picky. I mean, for what I've got here, I'm a bald guy, I got no lips. I got these big fucking bug eyes, that come out. Thanks, Mom. And I got no ass. I mean, I have an ass, but you really have to look for it. You really have to look for it. But if you come around the corner, you don't have to look hard for that one, okay? That's one thing I got, all right? That's one thing that Dad gave me. At least I think he did. I don't know. I never saw my dad's penis. But I think I got that from him. Yeah, and I'm just way too picky because, you know, if I'm going to get naked in front of somebody and they see all of this and they start laughing, they better be fucking hot. That's all I got to say. They got to be hot. Got to be hot. Smoking. What else? Yeah, the bald. You know, somebody was talking about having to get a haircut, you know, going into the hairstylist, you know, and I had this woman who I went to get my haircut. I had basically a really shitty balding pattern. See, he's got it. You know, you're losing it a little bit, but you still got, you know, it's even. Mine was not even. I had little fucking patches, and there was one patch right in the front. And so I just basically, instead of having a comb over, I just made a comb back, you know. But the problem was I had to grow my hair really long here, and so when I'd go out in the wind, it'd be like one of those things you say, you know, see outside of the body shop, you know, one of those little guys who's going, and it would just be doing that on the top of my head. So finally I went into her and I said, hey, you know, do you think it's time? You know, maybe I should just start shaving my head. And she was like, no, I take care of it. We make it look good. And that's not racist. I was just doing a very good impression, okay? Don't fucking cancel my ass. Don't cancel me. So finally one day I just went in and I did it. And I got to tell you, it's awfully nice because I don't have to go get my hair cut anymore. I just do it every day in the shower. You know, it's a lot easier. But there's a little ridge back here that's a little hard to get because it's where your skull, you know, you don't care. You don't give a shit. So, you know, just a mess. But if I'm going to get with a hot girl and she's going to start laughing, she better be hot. And that's just my rule. So I did have a really torrid affair with a bidet a little while ago. It was really hot and wet, you know. I would text her, you know, we'd be texting back and forth, you know, be going, oh yeah, baby, be squirty with me. And then she'd be like, psh, 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 psh. Yeah, it was actually my friend's bidet. I stayed at their house for a little while, and I just, you know, we just hooked up, you know. I mean, we had a lot in common, you know, and a lot of people were saying, you know, whoa, wait a minute, you know, the age difference, you know. I'm like, no, she has seen way more ass than I have. But sometimes, you know, I started to stray, started seeing the garden hose, thinking, you know, it's not looking bad. Then I'd see a fire hydrant, and it'd be like, no, she's way too big, you know. I don't know. But, yeah, anybody ever want a pony? Anybody want a pony? Good. No. Yeah, thank you, Billy. Billy wanted a pony. You're lucky if you didn't get one, because I got one. And I didn't want one at all. Okay, my brother, my family, we grew up in the military, so we were in the Air Force. We were traveling around a lot, all over the place. My parents were raised here in L.A., so they spent their whole, you know, childhood up till my dad went off to war to be a hero. They spent it here, and then suddenly my brother is just, you know, a normal guy with a normal kind of standard American accent, and he came over. We were in Germany. He came over to go to college, and, you know, 6 months later, we moved back to the States, and suddenly he's talking like this, and he's going to be a rodeo rider. He's going to be in the rodeo, and he starts riding horses, wearing cowboy hats and shit. Cowboy hats and shit. And it was just really weird. And I know that it was because he met this guy he really liked. He wasn't gay, but he really liked this guy a lot. And this guy's name was Toad. And the guy was from fucking New Hampshire. He wasn't even a cowboy, but they were both walking around going to the rodeo. So they decided I need a horse. So they looked around and they found one. It was $10. $10 horse, and it was a Shetland pony, and it was out in a field of a herd, or is it a herd? Yeah, no, it's not a herd. It's what's a group of horses? Come on, a pack, a school. I don't know. A bunch of fucking horses. Okay, God damn it, they were horses, and they were little ponies. They're only about that big, but they're really mean. It took 5 adults about an hour and a half to get this stupid thing into the trailer. You know, it's 5 adults, and it's raining and thunder and lightning, and I mean, and there wasn't any thunder, but there was lightning and there was rain. And we finally got the thing in. So anyway, this horse was terrible. My brother decides we're gonna break that horse. It's not a fucking horse. It's a little fucking Shetland pony. So you put the bags on. You know, first you got to put the bridle on. That takes about a fucking hour and a half to get it used to that. And she's like, and the horse. And finally, he just gives up and goes, fuck it. Okay, I'll wear this stupid thing. And then they put the sacks on him and walk him around so that he gets used to that in a saddle. And that took a day and a half. So it was a big process just to get to the point where we put a human being on it. And guess who that fucking human being was? That's right, just little old me. So they took me down to the creek bed. We had a creek bed near our house, and there's sand. And they put me on the horse and boom, right off the horse on my ass, and I start crying, and my brother goes, you got to show the horse who's boss. No, he didn't say that. He said, you got to show the horse you ain't afraid of him. And they put me on there. It's like 5 times. I end up crying like crazy. Finally, I get to the point to where the horse is just like, I give up. Fuck it. Okay, fine. Carry this little fucking shit kid around. And so I calmed down a little. I'm not crying. And they're like, oh, we got to go show Mom and Dad what we've done, you know. And so they lead the horse up. And we're walking along, and there's like a ditch. And then the pavement road on the other side. And, you know, the horse just goes, boom, and just shoots off. And I fall off the horse on my head on the pavement. So I'm crying again. And, you know, God bless the horse. The horse was just being a horse. He's like, you know, I don't want to go into a ditch. So I hated that horse, but there was one day when I loved him. I loved that horse. And it was a day I was going to school. We were driving to school on the bus, and I'm looking out the window of the bus. And it had been snowing, so there was fresh snow on the ground. And I looked out the window into the ditch, and there was my horse, dead in the ditch. Been hit by a car. Poor Puzzles. I love that horse. But I don't love him anymore. And I didn't like him when I had him. So anyway, that's my time, everybody. We do have acting classes here on Tuesday nights. Please come by. You're going to have fun, I promise. And you can find me at Aaron McIntyre everywhere. And now I'm going to bring up Mr. Mark Zaffron.
Of course, that story reminds me of only one thing. A horse is a horse, of course, unless, of course, it's a talking horse. Nobody, Mr. Ed. No references to old sitcoms. Has anybody thought how totally bizarre most of American old sitcoms were? How about the Ghost and Mrs. Muir? Right? Ghost and Mrs. Muir, right? Tammy and the Professor. Can you imagine if they just started the story, Tammy and Professor? They'd be yelling, what are you doing? What is this, the Epstein Files? Yeah, of course it was from the 60s. The Petticoat Junction, Green Acres. Think about, who watches this shit? I bet. You also had a pony.
That's why they got rid of all those shows starting in the 70s. It was called the Rural something. Where they got rid of all the Green Acres, Petticoat Junction.
It's called elitism. That's when they switched to the nanny. They got a little bit more creative in their sexual dominance shit that they used to do. I tell you something, Hollywood was a strange place. Anyhow, I don't want to put it this way, but on that note, I'm going to disturb Griff from watching his phone. You know, do you ever? You know, it reminds me of coming down Wilshire Boulevard, getting the car charged. Now that's an experience, getting your car charged in L.A. There's like this community of chargers, and everybody's polite. That's the damnedest thing. It's the only place you see polite people. Why? If you can afford an electric car, you're going to be polite. Anyhow, here's Griff. in.
This is a look at your phone type of night. Just got to keep it real. How you guys doing? I've been here actually, so I can answer that myself. I know we got too. We're too good for this, man. Like, why'd we dress up for this? All this corduroy on us. Corduroy voice. Yeah, we're starting a podcast here tonight. Everyone out. We're podcasting. I've been good. I got a big life change. My girlfriend just opened up our relationship, actually. Yeah. I'm in an open relationship now. It's crazy. Basically how it works, Lee, is she can be with other people and I can be with other people, but I can't be with her anymore. And I got to move out of her place. And she sent me all my stuff in a box. So it's pretty modern. We're freaky like that, you know? But yeah, I did get dumped. I've been MIA. Got dumped 2 weeks ago. My parents, they've been together for 35 years, actually. My mom and dad. All for a Mr. Beast challenge. It's crazy. They got 5 more years till they get the money. It's nuts. But they don't feel bad for me because my relationship was only 2 years. But that's a long time to me. Like, that's an associate's degree. I'm heartbroken. I could have learned how to weld or something. Weld this heart back together. Is your girl really Russian, or are you kidding? A combination? She's a mix? She's a rescue? Okay. I feel like you're the rescue. My ex now, she's Russian. And it was tough because she was super bougie and high maintenance and stuff and very traditional. And it was just like I wasn't used to that. I was only used to American women. I remember one night I called her a strong, independent woman, thinking that's a compliment. And she said, I don't want to be that. She said, I want a strong man, a man that's going to take care of me. I said, best I can do is be a strong, independent woman. So she's Russian. By the end, I started to feel like Ukraine. I was just spending all my money with no victory in sight. Have to call my parents, ask them for more money. They're the U.S. They'd be like, yeah, I guess, but like, what's the game plan here? Like, publicly, we're attached to you, but like, are you going to surrender, or what's the deal? We're getting upset. Breakups are so much harder for the man than the woman. I know we got a men's support group in here tonight. It's a little biased. We have no female presence, so it's a little biased, but I feel like that's facts. Because every girl has a guy waiting in the wings to be her shoulder to cry on. Every time. I know my ex has a few. I played pickleball with some of them. They're good guys. I can't even lie.
Called orbiters, right?
Orbiters, that's right. They orbit around. They're cool though, well dressed. So I got the corduroy on, stepping it up. But no, I got like nothing. I got no one. I got no hoes. Nothing. No one. It's crazy. I'm embarrassed. I did the move where when I got dumped, I went out and I got a fresh haircut. And then I posted a selfie on Instagram thinking, oh, the ladies are going to line up now. And only guys messaged me. They're all like, fire haircut. I was like, not you. Look. I might hit you up in 2 weeks, but for now. I got so desperate. I remembered that like 16 months ago, I had gotten an Instagram message from a girl that said, you're kind of cute. But I was loyal. I was in a relationship, and I scrolled all the way back, and I just acted like no time had passed. I was like, let's get a drink Saturday. She was like, I can't get a drink with you. I got a boyfriend now. I was like, damn. Y'all want to play pickleball? Or? But, yeah. It's funny how, like, when you're in a relationship, that's when all the women want to flirt with you. But then when you're single, like, they all disappear, right? I feel like women treat men like cocaine. Like, they want to do them, but they want to see someone test it first to make sure it's not laced. Know what I'm saying? Like, a girl will see a couple and be like, well, she's alive, so it's Saturday. I'll try it. Yeah. I felt a lot of pressure in the, like, I just gave up. Like, I just stopped. Like, this is what happened. Like, we just got into a fight, and this time I was just like, I'm not even going to make it better. And then I got broken up with. Now I feel like, feels kind of like peaceful in a way. Because I was supporting her emotionally and financially. And it got to the point where I started to feel like her dad. And it kind of killed the romance. I know that's weird to say, but it's true. Like, every guy wants their girl to call them daddy, but then it's a slippery slope. You might end up with full custody. You know, you don't want that. Go from daddy to father. It's not good. Because at the beginning of the relationship, I'd spank her to get things spicy, you know. And then by the end, I was still spanking her, but because she needed to get her test scores up. And it just... Whoosh, boing, boing, boing. She was so thick. Boing, 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 boing. I should call her. Let's call her. Let's call her. I remember, okay, so when you go through a breakup, everyone's like, oh, you're going to grow so much, though. You're going to learn so much. But I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am at all. And I feel like my soul and my heart are disconnected. Like, I feel like I have a good soul, an empathetic soul, and I'm genuine and I'm a good person. But then my brain is narcissistic and greedy and manipulative. That's really how I feel. Like, when she broke up with me, we met at a park. And she picked the worst bench. She picked, like, right by the swing set where all these kids were swinging. And I walked up. I'm, like, ugly crying on this bench. And the kids are looking at me. I'm like, this is what you got, motherfucker. This is coming. It was so awkward. and it got really sad because I was just, like, looking at her. And I, like, you know when you, like... I haven't died before, but when you die, they say, like, your life flashes before your eyes. That's what happens with the relationship, too, when your relationship is ending. And I saw, like, all these moments flash. Like I remember, like, all the, like, we had good and bad times. Like, she used to, so I'm hairy. She used to shave my back in the shower. We stand in the shower, and we would laugh, and it was, like, funny and cool. And I remember, like, the first time she came to one of my shows and, like, seeing her laughing, or, like, I would help her with her art shows, or, like, sometimes she had, like, a lot of, like, a bad situation with her family, so a lot of times she would cry, and I remember, like, holding her while she cried about her family, like, parents went through a bad divorce and all this stuff. I remember, or, like, I just remember, like, going to the farmer's market and just chilling and, like, just having a good day, and, like, I would always get her, like, a stuffed animal when I travel. And I got her this little hedgehog. And I remember the last fight we had, she was crying, but she was still holding the little hedgehog that I got her. And I was looking at her and crying, and my soul was like, take this in. Because you really loved her. And now it's about to be goodbye. And it's time for you to forgive her, but also forgive yourself. And, like, all the love that you have in you, you got to have this in this moment right now. And then you're about to walk away. And then my brain was like, psst. Ask her for one more back shave for the road. You single now, playa. Anywho, I got work. I work at a tech company right now, and it's so busy, and like I'm like basically an assistant for the CEO, and they text me at night, on the weekends, all the time, and I'm thinking to myself, like, you're rich. Like, at what point do you enjoy being rich? Like, you're texting me on Saturday night. Like, what do you do? Like, what's the point of all this if you're still working at this hour? Just be rich, right? Yeah. And it's like, say what you will about the people that went to Epstein Island, but at least they knew how to take a vacation. They were making those kids miserable on the island, but their employees were happy that weekend. They're like, I'm going to see a movie because the boss is tied up in a massage with a teen from 3 to 5, so I'm off the clock. All right, thank you.
All right there. Woo! Epstein Island. See, here I am in law school. Who? Your boy. Which one, Clinton? No, he wasn't. He never went to Epstein Island. First of all, there is no way Donald Trump would handle any of those little Florida skanks. What he likes him is European and already built in as a model. Why? You know, he pays for it. All right? He didn't get paid for that cheap shit. That's why Dershowitz went and Clinton. Clinton always went for the cheap side. White trash goes to white trash. Anyhow, on that note, I was going to tell a story about my own life, a little bit along the line of kind of like a Lee story. So here I am in law school. My girlfriend breaks up with me. All right, nice, wonderful. But she met some guy on vacation in Mexico. You should know never meet anybody in Mexico. A couple of years later, I meet the boyfriend. He's a lawyer now. He's been through everything, okay? Meet him, he's talking, blah, 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 blah. Till it comes that this law firm is hunting down me, actually recruiting me, and his name's on the wall temporarily. Anyhow, I go in there, and all of a sudden, who is it? The boyfriend, and they got married now. So everybody's like twitter, and I noticed she's in the office. That ain't gonna work out. Then I hear a couple of years later that he wasn't happy about me joining the firm. I said, why? He said, well, you know, it was a little awkward. I said, why? Because I slept with your wife before you did? And he goes, well, you know, it is. I said, well, you know, here's the interesting thing. Why don't you look at it from my perspective? All right. I'm the one whose girlfriend went away on vacation, and she broke up with me because of you. Who's the injured party? Do you ever think, who's the injured party? Not you. Years. So I won't tell the rest of the story because they'll be able to figure out who they are on YouTube if they ever watch this. Because God knows there aren't that many people who would put up with this shit. So now here comes the humor of that New York refugee. Also recently homeless, due to girlfriend issues, Hunter White.
Keep it going for Mark. Should we just have all our exes get on like a group call and then connect Lee's girlfriend?
But first we have to teach how to talk.
Teach. I'm sure Lee's. Are you talking about anyway? My material. Yep, to catch those up who don't know, I went through a breakup and then was homeless for like a month. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. It was fine. I wasn't like concerned homeless, right? Like I wasn't like on the street. I'm Prius homeless, and that, right, that's a little different. Like Prius homeless, it could start or it could end up concerning, but it usually starts as like a very mindful decision by a guy named Parker. And then he doesn't get out of the Prius, and then it's dark, cool. I am pleased to report I am no longer homeless. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm coming in alignment with society. It's interesting living with roommates again, because like I live with my ex, and like my roommates are great, but like they don't love me. You know what I mean? Like I'm not even sure they like me. I'm 100% sure they don't love me yet. So I feel like I need to tone it down a little bit, right? Like, I don't want to, like, misrepresent who I am, but maybe headphones while listening to Jeffrey Epstein and stuff, right? Right, like, I'm not going to lie about who I am, but, like, they don't need to hear when I fall down a reptilian rabbit hole. Like, let's hold off on that for a little bit. Speaking of Epstein, thank God we broke up before the Epstein stuff came back in the news. I'm so grateful for that, because either she would think I'm crazy or I would drive her crazy. Right? She's a respectable, professional woman. Give me 6 months or I'll have her babbling about the elites. Breaks your brain a little bit. A breakup like really destabilizes everything. Like even if you have your housing locked in, like it just kind of throws everything up in the wind. And I had to ask myself some like very important questions. The big one is, am I gay enough for a glory hole? Like I've never felt any like romantic or sexual attraction towards another man, but like I'm lonely. Could I close my eyes and roll those dice? Maybe it's a wizard. Who knows? I really did not want to come here tonight, but I'm glad I did. You guys are cool. Although I do have to say, a little sadder without any women here for like a couple weeks. A little bit sadder. It's fine though. We're all boys figuring it out. All bitter about our relationships. It's great. I don't know. I was like weirdly grateful to be homeless during the whole breakup, because like having to find a new place to sleep every few days really kind of breaks up the whole grieving process, really into like bite-sized chunks. And also I was broke the whole time, because like being homeless, surprisingly expensive, which is like, that might be the healthiest way to go through a breakup, right? Being broke, because you can't like spend money to distract yourself, right? I couldn't find solace at like the bottom of a bottle or in like an OnlyFans girl's DM. Like I had to live with the feelings, right? Like my credit is not a place where I can like Klarna a VR headset and then just dissolve into an erotic void, right? I like gotta get my shit together. I don't know. I feel a little like I'm justifying emotional self-harm, but we'll be in it. It's good to process things, I guess. But I don't know. I'm trying to look at the positives, and I don't know if this is a thing, but I was at her apartment a couple days ago. I'm not being weird. We have a dog together. And I noticed she had an empty box of Twisted Teas. I don't know how I'm doing. Better than Twisted Tea, I know that. Just feel like I'm winning in life. And this is also, I don't know if this will resonate, but like one positive is my ex, she's a natural redhead, she's a ginger. So one benefit of now that we broke up is every time I go out, I no longer have to watch black dudes consistently try to fuck my girlfriend. It's pretty cool. I don't know if you know this, but red hair on a pretty lady, it's like fine wine or Dragon Ball Z. Black dudes love that shit. I'm into this, like, did it work? It didn't. Oh, wait, it did work. I'm into the tepid response. It's cool. No, I am actively working on staying positive. I think all of us should do that. We are, like, a lot of us freshly single white men, and that's dangerous. That's like a dangerous position to be in mentally. Like, I'm one bad YouTube video away from calling women females and driving my car through a parade. Like, I feel like when people get out of a relationship, they, like, change a fundamental part of themselves just in direct opposition to the ex, right? Now, my ex is a queer, neurodivergent therapist who works with those populations. I would have the craziest conservative arc y'all could imagine. Just on, like, Rumble or something like, everybody, listen, the vaccines are making the trans autistic, everybody. Be a wild arc, especially because my name, Hunter White. It's the name of a Republican with the complexion of a Mexican. No one will see me coming. I don't know, a lot of weird advice people give. They say to live your dreams. I know I try to do that. I've talked in here, me, Billy, and Aaron all might go skydiving. That's pretty cool. Yeah, 3 generations of head trauma hurtling towards the earth. Also, Aaron, I gotta say, I better not fucking die. Just putting that out there. Not even for the whole I don't want to die thing. You know, jury's out on that. I just don't want my ex to be right. Right? I don't want to die and get a posthumous I told him not to jump out of a plane. I have to win. Okay. A couple other things I want to do. I want to go to a place in Sonoma, California, where they took a photograph that became the Windows XP wallpaper. It's called Bliss. Wanted to do that since I was 5. And the other thing I want to do, other dream I have, is I want to go to the last Blockbuster. It's in Bend, Oregon. I want to get a picture and a hat. Those are my dreams. You know what my ex's dream was? Buying a house. Different points in our life, I guess. I like that more than y'all did. It's fine. No, just like weird urges, weird feelings, right? Like simultaneous, I want to like make out with anybody anytime, but be touched by nobody forever, you know? Right? I bought a sex toy at Target. This is a weird impulse purchase. Just like, what do I gotta get? Toothpaste, soap, shampoo. What's that? Ooh, a fake vagina. Sign me up. What low-wage employee can open this plastic case for me? Just gotta hit the like call person button and just wait next to the condoms while children walk by. Like, to pay it no attention. You think the world's ahead of you. One day it'll be 11 o'clock on a Tuesday in downtown LA Target. You'll figure it out. I don't know. We did the work, which was really cool. We like did the work. There comes a point in like a long relationship you have to decide, okay, we're going to try this for all we can. We're going to do all the work. I just wish someone had told me that the work is just crying and talking about it a whole bunch. Right? I'm all for crying, but we don't got to talk about it. You can observe or leave the room, but we don't got to talk about it. It's very hack to be like, oh, it's a different world now than when I was single. But it is, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's my duty as like a freshly single dude. I gotta get a fucking VR headset, y'all. Cause like, I definitely don't want a relationship. I'd fuck a computer. Right? Like AI wasn't a thing 4 years ago, right? I could have an AI girlfriend tonight. That's not usually a response. Most of the time people are like, Hunter, why would you do that? There's no real love there. There's no real feelings or emotions. Y'all, I dated a therapist for 4 years. You know the thing I'm definitely not looking for? Emotions. You guys have been fun. My name is Hunter White. Find me on the internet at My Name is Hunter. Treat yourselves right. Treat your friends right. Have a great night. Bye.
Where you going? All right. Since this is male therapy night, we're going to bring up the king of breakups, Jared.
Yeah, I'm definitely continuing on with this theme of lost love tonight. So, there was 2 things she used to talk about that I do not miss at all. She used to say full stop all the time. Like, I'm doing this, full stop. Or this is what I feel, full stop. And then she talked about the patriarchy. And, these conversations, I do not miss them at all. But, we were together for 25 years. And, on our honeymoon, we took a cruise. And it was flashing on the screen there that Elian Gonzalez had just been, like, taken to Cuba, if you can go back that far. I mean, some of you guys may need to Google history back that far, because some would say these were dark times. It was my daughter was born just a month after 9/11. So I mean, we were together for 25 years. This is like jarring that this relationship ended, but it's for the best. I'm going to come out better, and I think and I'm dreaming too. I think Hunter mentioned some dreams that he's having, and I'm giving some thought to I don't know, like swimming from Alcatraz as a symbolism of like getting out of jail, like I've got out of Shawshank, so this is so good things are ahead. But like I said, we were so we were married like 25 years ago, and we came down to Los Angeles 2 years ago, and I took a job here. She was in between work, and as she was job hunting, for whatever reason, she's an art historian. That's her background. And I thought, hey, this is a masterstroke. I've got a great opportunity for myself. And here in LA, you've got the Huntington Library, you've got the Getty. There's awesome places for her to take a work, but for her to find work. And you know, of all, and to give you a sense of like this is kind of an avoidant attachment style. She says, you know what? Like I found an work opportunity, and it happens to be in Kuwait, and I'm like, Kuwait, and I'm like, because you know, we just left just left Utah, and here we are in LA. And initially, I'm thinking it's like Queens, so I've got to pick up and leave to the East Coast. But no, she's like thinking, I want to get into the art history that goes back to ancient times, and I'm thinking I want to go to the Middle East. And so here I am, you know, I'm packing her bags. You know, she's got 4 suitcases. You know, and this is like a college, you know, post-college sweetheart that I'm packing up. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, like our love knows no geographical boundaries. You know, this is all's gonna work out. Like this is meant to be. And you know, and she goes to Kuwait. She finds work there. And I'm thinking to you know, she has these run-ins with the HR department because people are being fired, like just totally randomly. You've got a guy a teacher who touches the hand of a female student, and he gets gone. And then you've got another teacher who thinks he's got time off to get surgery, and he comes back to work reporting after his post-surgery, and he finds he's without work. So I'm hearing about kind of, you know, maybe perhaps like in the culture there, but like, I don't know, just a nightmare work environment. There's no EEOC. It's more a DIE type situation. And driving in Kuwait, did I mention that you happen to be like right on the equator? Like the sun is just at maximum strength, just bearing down on you. And the drivers there, it's like Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome. Although they've got plenty of gasoline, they are weaving through lanes, like not seeing what's happening around them. And so I'm hearing a lot about near-death experiences, but she decides to stick it out. And there's a side in my head thinking, hey, she's going to come back. This is, you know, this is just something she's got to go do. And I actually give some thought as to, hey, like perhaps I should look into opportunities in the Middle East. We've talked about that. She said, hey, I'd like us to be more of an international family. And so, you know, I'm a nice guy, and I give actually some credence to this idea, like, hey, we should buy a house in southern France. Like, this actually makes sense, even though, like, going against, I don't know, every, protective measure within my heart, I'm thinking, like, this does not make sense. If anything goes sideways, like, this is going to be trouble. And so we do this Airbnb, and it's very seasonal, but I don't know. It's so I end up taking on this house in southern France, and we travel there a bit, and it's fun, but it doesn't make sense for us at all. And so I give some thought as to like going out there in the Middle East and working, perhaps. But you know, I'm hearing about what these construction crews are doing. Like some of these guys are going to their death, just placing concrete. That's my background in project management, and it's dangerous out there. There's a lot of work going in place, but they take these workers' passports, they put them in kind of tin cans to survive off of the littlest of means there. So I don't know. It's something I'm really not pursuing, and also, this Middle East job hunt, this just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And so we have a network. There's, I don't know, she says, hey, maybe I should come out and visit. There's, I've usually had success, like, coming out to companies and introducing myself. And she's like, no, let's not do that. You're better off just, like, applying for jobs. Like, stay there. We'll continue to apply from overseas. Like, that's how they do it here. And she says, like, hey, my house is being monitored. Like, my house is under surveillance. And I'm thinking to myself, what does this even mean? And it's just so crazy that she actually said that I don't know. I mean, she's showing her true colors. I'm putting I can put two and two together that this marriage has fallen away. And, it's apparent that she's fallen for somebody, but it's for the best. We got together at Christmas time. I was there for my kids, and, it's where I belonged, although it was really rough, like being there in proximity to somebody that you've been married to, that you've loved, and you can tell she's like moved on, but over time, like I've gotten better. I'm not crying at LA intersections so much anymore in my car. That's like gone away. And she was out here like 2 weeks ago and got her stuff out of the apartment, and I didn't have to see her. And it's for the best. And she brought me 3 beautiful kids that I love and adore. But sometimes these things don't work out. I just I'm mad at her, but because she took this direction. But no, like I said, like we all deserve choice, and at the end of the day, I wish her well. And I mean, she's stuck in Kuwait, so at the end of the day, like I get to enjoy freedom here in America. She's there in Kuwait. She's had to make do in a life that's. Kuwait is full of like. They love American culture, so there's it's filled with like Kentucky Fried Chicken and McDonald's and Cheesecake Factory. They love like our way of life there, but hey, at the end of the day, you're in Kuwait, and it's just like, what good is that? And I don't know, like I think the path that these Kuwaitis are on, they're going to adopt the same weight issues us Americans have. Like although like we tend to like here we can wear things that are more, I don't know, in Kuwait, like you can wear what's called an abaya or a galabia, and these are like very voluminous like dresses that allow for just like you could eat copious amounts of food and like you can continue to like it's life wearing a muumuu, and so that's the style of dress there. But anyway, you've all been a great audience. Thanks a lot. Have a good night. You can find me on Instagram, JT Springer.
All right. Been therapy night at the LA School of Comedy. All this male wailing. Oh, well, they'll be back. I thought Aaron had gotten the Lithuanian girl the other day. I guess I was mistaken. Anyhow, not working hard there, Aaron. All right. This is the LA School of Comedy, guys. If you think you're funny, you are. Because, look, I'm not funny. The only person who thinks I'm funny is my wife. Anyhow, 10835 Santa Monica Boulevard. Get us on laschoolofcomedy.com. All these people have forgotten to give you their, where you can find them. Hunter White, what's your Instagram? My name is Hunter. God, sounds like a 50s cowboy movie. Anyhow, good night.